Before we get into this week's episode, I would like to give a big warm hug and a warm shout out to our newest patron. She signed up during the podcast break, Lourdes Jauros. Thank you for your generous support of the show. I really dig you. If you too are also interested in getting your very own shout out on the show, plus live virtual yin yoga taught by me and more fun member perks, please consider joining our patron monthly membership. Cancel at any time. You can check it out on patreon.com/Ashley Weber Yoga. The link is also in the show notes. Now, I hope you enjoy this upcoming episode. Welcome, friends, to the Yoga and Podcast. This show highlights the science and brings the magic of yoga practices down to earth for the everyday real person to help you live your best life. I'm your host, Ashley Weber. I'm a meditation, yoga, and Pilates teacher and a lifetime student of learning, and I am just so dang curious about all things yoga and on today's episode, we will explore all about yoga and CBD and how both can help benefit you. Christina Kauffmann's on the show today. She is a yoga teacher and the co-founder of the CBD company Harmony 905. She will share with us her knowledge about yoga and CBD and how to approach CBD, especially if you're trying it out for the first time, what to look for, what to expect, but also if you have had CBD before, she has some really great advice to share with you as well. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode, y'all. Joining us on today's episode is the co-founder of Harmony 905, a featured author in Sacred Spaces, the book, and a trauma-informed yoga teacher based in DC. Please welcome to the show, Christina Kauffmann. Hey, Christina, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're on the show. I'm so glad we connected through, I think it was Instagram.
Yep.
So nice to finally meet you. Would you like to just tell us a little bit more about yourself, introduce yourself a bit more, and tell us who you are in the world of yoga?
Sure. So you did a great job kind of introducing me right now in a nutshell. But yes, I am Christina, and I am someone who's just very passionate about positively impacting people's lives. And I do this in a few different ways. So in the space of yoga, as a teacher, as a student myself, as well as a published author, I speak about shadow work and kind of how we can use yoga to help heal ourselves. And then I've got another section where it's CBD wellness. And so all of this is to be said is really has one main mission for me, and that's really to provide tools for people to have for positive mental wellness and overall positive, physical well-being as well. So that's really kind of my take in this wellness space. And in the yoga domain, I really speak to just tapping into our whole self-care and how that looks differently for everybody.
I love that. And we're going to dive deeper into the specifics of how CBD can help us and how yoga and CBD together work well together, which I'm so excited about. So I'm curious, what has been your journey with CBD? What gravitated you towards this, and what are the benefits?
Yeah, so CBD, I'm someone who has definitely had a long journey and let's say relationship with cannabis in general. Mm-hmm. And, CBD, just kind of put it out there for everybody as well, who's like, what is this? I see it everywhere, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
From a very general, not getting too deep into it, because it is very complex. It is a cannabis derived product. And, but normally when people think of cannabis, we think of THC, marijuana, which is the compound that does give that euphoric, intoxicating feeling that people can use recreationally, or there's a lot of medicinal use for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about CBD, which is also another compound found in cannabis. And it doesn't have the same intoxicating qualities to it. So you're getting all these benefits from the plant, but you're fully there. And so I found my way to be in the CBD space when I was kind of struggling with my own mental health and going through a lot, but looking for more natural ways to, like, more natural tools. And so I am someone who is very open about, I was taking medication, and I did it because I needed it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I always like to emphasize that. But I kind of found my way as I was looking for more natural alternatives. And so I used, CBD to kind of balance out and bring homeostasis. And that's really CBD's greatest quality, and how it kind of complements yoga, is creating this balance in all of the other systems in our body so that we can function in a very optimal way. And so it's kind of, I think, CBD in a very broad picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love CBD. My cats are like play fighting in the background. They use CBD. I've drank the CBD like colas or whatever. And I really love it, but I've never heard it balanced out before. I've never heard that description of it, but that's exactly what it feels like. So let's talk more about how putting CBD and yoga together. What does that look like? Are you, like, say you're facilitating a class, a yoga CBD class? Are people taking CBD before, after, during? Like, walk us through a class.
Sure. So one thing that's very important for me as someone who speaks to yoga and CBD a lot is that I actually like to keep it separate. So it's separate, but also together. So to explain that a little bit better is because you notice a lot of classes, let's say, I've seen also myself, like CBD yoga classes, right? So kind of what you just described. And I've held those before, but kind of focusing on just the educational part. And then I'll give like samples for someone to try at home on their own, and I can still support them. Mm-hmm. For me, it's important that even though CBD is non-intoxicating, which I think is an important part to the fact that it's not infused into yoga practice. It's a tool that we can use to promote that mental clarity. But the way that I kind of use it together is I keep there's topicals. That's really where I really focus on when I'm in my practice. And so there's like a salve, there's lotions, there's massage oils that you can use over the skin. And it's really good to kind of promote that relaxation and get you into that meditation feel, and kind of help loosen up the muscles and different parts of the body. And I think that's a great way to use CBD and yoga together if we're doing it in like a physical practice. But in a daily routine, it's more so like, here's my CBD routine, in the morning or something like that. And then you of course, find your own yoga practice, whether it's whatever that looks like. Everybody's looks a little differently. So yeah, it's interesting. I personally try to keep it separate, but speak to how we can use it together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. You're talking about a physical practice, so you would do physical topical creams and salves on the body to relax like for instance, the shoulders, right? I could like, when you said that, I instantly thought, man, I need some CBD salve for my shoulders before I take yoga. So very cool. I didn't know that. So thank you for sharing that. So what is a high quality CBD? What makes it safe and effective? What should we look out for when we are buying CBD products?
Great question, because there's just CBD everywhere these days.
Yeah.
Anywhere you look, you are just like bombarded with this CBD infused something or this product. So the main thing really is to look for these reputable brands, and transparency is key. That's really just to flat out say transparency is key when you're looking at a product or for a product. You should know exactly what's in it. It should not be a guessing game. And so third-party lab testing is huge in this space, making sure that your product has the lab tests behind it to show exactly what's in it. And the labels, when you're looking at a CBD product, it should say, is it does it have THC in it or not? Because hemp-derived CBD products still can have a trace amount of THC. 0.3% is the legal limit. So you should know if it has THC or not. If you can find out where the hemp is grown. USA grown hemp is going to be, definitely something that's going to, I believe, provide better quality. The third-party lab test, and just the transparency of what exactly is in it, and then take a look at the other ingredients, right? So when you're taking a look at a topical or even a tincture or a gummy or whatever it is, also take a look at not just the amount of cannabinoids and CBD that's in it, but what else is it made with? And keeping that also, as a factor. So there's a lot to it, but there's a lot of really awesome, great quality products. There's also a lot of not, but it's do your research for sure. But upfront, it should not be a guessing game as to like, what is this product and what's in it? You should know exactly.
So by the labeling, if you're not seeing all the key points you pointed out, like other ingredients, origin, amount of cannabinoids.
Cannabinoids. I know, it's a hard one.
But if it's not transparent, then that's probably a red flag, right? So that's like the first. So let's talk about your business, Harmony 905. How did you create that?
Oh, I feel so lucky to be in this position to create my own approach in this space. So I've been in the CBD space for a while as kind of an associate at different stores and just speaking to my personal journey with it. And then had this opportunity to co-found this company. And we saw a need, my business partner and I, we saw a need for education in this space where we don't want to just provide products. It's how do we provide support before, during, after, or throughout the whole journey. And so Harmony, of course, is, this state of balance and really speaking to everything I've kind of touched on. And so a big part of Harmony 905 is our consultations that we give. So it's premium organic products, but also if you're like hesitant in any way to like, how do I get started? It's so overwhelming. I offer free consultations where you book a call with me, we talk about specific goals and stuff, and then educating. I do lots of events and stuff. So it's really, that's a big piece to my business in general.
So I'm curious about specific goals. Like what would someone come to you with a specific goal about for use of CBD?
They range anywhere from, sleep to just stressed out. And I will say most of my customers, a lot of my customers have pain, chronic pain. One really great quality to CBD is that it has this natural anti-inflammatory quality to it. And so when we're talking about inflammation or chronic pain due to that, or arthritis, or anything that's kind of a little deeper in the body, a lot of my customers are just seeking a little bit of relief. Right. So I'm never one to guarantee that, this is the answer to everything. It's really just one tool where we should figure out all these other things, work with their doctor, and all these different parts of the whole self-care. But those are really the main pain points, let's say, where we all just want to find a little bit more ease in our life. And that's kind of where CBD comes in, where it's this very subtle hug to your internal environment, if I can, for lack of a better word. But
and what you touched on was like CBD will help, but then you want to look at the whole picture, which is very yoga, like the whole lifestyle, right? Was what you were speaking to. Is it true that you have to you gradually take it a long period of time and then you see a shift? Is that how that usually works? Or
Exactly. Yes. So consistency is definitely going to be key to find good results. When we're talking about balance, right? And we can look at this in a context outside of CBD for others to understand as well, where, when we do something once, we're not going to see, or let's bring yoga, right? Meditation. Or if we meditate once or every now and then, like, yeah, it's really great that you have given that to yourself and you took the time to fit that in. However, you're going to find the best results by creating some consistency, some routine, right? So creating this balance daily. And so CBD is the same way, as it's working with our endocannabinoid system, which is another big word, but it's this network of receptors and all the other systems in our body. By taking these products consistently and daily, we're easing out and finding any imbalances and allowing that to just create that subtle ease. So there's we can kind of hopefully eliminate some extremes when it comes to physical or mental wellness.
So it's like you're very slowly, gradually investing in your health. Like you're putting a penny in the piggy bank every day towards your health and your mental health and your well-being and your relaxation. And over time, well, your health is your wealth, just to make it a full analogy. But so yeah, that makes sense. And hey friends, let me tell you about my favorite herbal store, Earth Commons. It's more than an herb shop. They also offer gifts, body care, massage, yoga therapy classes, and more. I highly recommend their mystery herb class. I have learned so much about herbs from this class. One of my favorite things to get at Earth Commons is their bulk medicinal herbs. I like to make it into a tea, and actually right now I'm drinking lemongrass and nettle tea, and it is so delicious. Their herbal tinctures are fantastic. I use them to help with easing tension, anxiety, allergies, and even a sore throat. It's also the perfect place to find gifts for those who are challenging to shop for. They have candles, incense, natural makeup, teas, jewelry, pottery. You name it, they got it. For a limited time, Earth Commons is giving our listeners, that's you guys, 10% off your first order when you use the promo code YOGAAND at checkout. You can find them if you're in the Austin area at 813 Springdale Road, or visit them online at earth-commons.com. It's spelled EARTH-COMMONS.com. I'll link all their info in the show notes, so you're just one click away. And remember to use promo code YOGAAND to get 10% off your next order. It can be overwhelming to know how to help others during these trying times. It seems like every day there's a new disaster catching our attention, and it's hard to keep up and know how to help. The Ukraine still needs our support. The war in the Ukraine has continued, and if you are able, please consider donating to the organization Razum. Razum is providing critical humanitarian war relief and recovery to address the Ukraine's most urgent needs. To support Razum, go to razumfortheukraine.org. It's spelled RAZOMFORUKRAINE.org. I have provided the link in the show notes. Give what you can. We all have a voice and something important to share with the world. Now it's easier, more than ever, to make a podcast of your very own and to amplify your voice thanks to Anchor by Spotify. I have been using this platform for going on 3 years now, and I can confidently say it is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need right at your fingertips. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating right now, as in like today. With a single push of a button, you can distribute your podcast to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Yes, you heard it correctly. Anchor is free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I cannot wait to hear your podcast. And we're back. So I'm curious about your trauma-informed yoga. Does it inform your consults quite a bit, just having that knowledge?
That lens is kind of how I live life now as a teacher, as a CBD advisor, as everything that I do. Any conversation I have, that's what trauma-informed education really is. It provides an extra lens for you to see the world and how you approach these interactions with people and anything that you do and that you share. It's recognizing that everybody has a lot going on and there's a lot that we can't see. And so it's just this way of providing, whether it's education or a practice or whatever it is, with a little bit more care and compassion and sensitivity to individual, the individual journey of somebody, but also as a collective. And so, yeah, when I speak to anything and when I do anything, it's really in this lens, and it's been through experience, which is why I'm so passionate about why I started studying trauma-informed yoga, was really to give myself this safe space that I didn't seem to find anywhere else at the time that I needed it. And so now that it really transformed my life, I was like, whew, okay, how can the way that I'm just giving this to the world is not specifically trauma-informed yoga classes, it's approaching everything with this trauma-sensitive lens.
Yeah. And with that, I could imagine just the nonviolent language, the, like you said, the compassion, the awareness of all that. I think that's really beautiful. What would you say to someone who hasn't ever tried CBD before and they're listening and they're a little bit overwhelmed? Like, where would they connect with you for a consult? Like, what advice would you give a newbie wanting to experience CBD for the first time?
So if you are listening and you're like, this is so overwhelming, this all sounds great, but I'm like, where do I get started? Yes, of course, you can book a call with me for free. But if that's not the first step you want to take, that's okay. Education is great to kind of start looking, which also can be overwhelming, but looking for reputable, what's it called?
Brands?
Like websites, medical sites, really. Research is great on that end, right? Not just like any brand, but looking at like research-based articles. But to get started, I mentioned, right, what to look for in a good CBD product. Start low. That's what I always say, start low and go slow. So you have the power to start this on your own. If you are taking medication or whatever it is, I always say, talk to your doctor. I mean, always talk to your doctor. Mention it to whoever you're working with, in these professional fields. But you have the power to take this into your own hands, and there's no need to jump right in, in the deep end. You can start very gradually, and so you have all the support around you. And really, call me, email me. I have customers who text me, and it's not just like, let me just start with your goals and let's get you to purchase. It's in 3 weeks later down the line, if you're like, hey, Christina, I've been taking this and I've been feeling a little bit better, but I would like to discuss this. Then let's talk about it. You don't get that a lot with other CBD brands. And I know that it's not all about it. I'm not making this about me where it's like, contact me, but it's really like, I'm here to hold your hand and I want to.
You are a resource.
Exactly.
You are a resource for the new.
Exactly.
So, all the rage right now, when I go to a coffee shop, they do a little CBD oil in the coffee or in the lemonade, or like, and no one's talking about, the quality of the CBD. Is it, what would you say to that? Do you like, what are your thoughts on that? Should we ask more questions, or what do you think?
I will say I've seen that a lot too, right? Like,
yeah.
Or at my nail salon actually around here, they just added in a CBD like pedicure.
Yes.
Like all these things, right? Which is all awesome. And I will say to those are all novelty items where they're fun. they're fun, right? Like I love myself like a good CBD seltzer, or I have CBD lollipops that I found somewhere.
Oh, cool.
And so those are fun ways to take it. Of course, I focus more on the therapeutic benefits, where we're talking a little bit more like specific, like how do we use this in the wellness routine. I think it's important to look at the what they're using, but if you feel like you trust that brand, right, your favorite coffee shop or your favorite or your hair salon, whatever it is, right? So it's finding trust in them, but definitely take a look at, why not know, exactly what they're offering you. You don't have to be a CBD expert to really know if it's good quality. I know I'm throwing out a lot of information, but there's really just key points to look at. And if you feel like it's, not in your comfort level, maybe just don't try it there, or seek some more information. There's a lot of fear around it because of the unknown, right? That's with anything in life. And so if you have any kind of hesitancy or anything, just do some research.
Yeah, it's like CBD, Bitcoin, like all these new like there's Tesla, I don't know, electric powered vehicles, like all this new stuff we don't know. But but it's good to know that the science behind it and all of that. So where can we find you out in the world?
There's so harmony905.com is going to be where you find pretty much everything I've talked about here. But if you're also interested in kind of anything else I touched on, which is, the yoga and my book and stuff like that, my website is a little different. So bear with me, everybody. It is onamission.bio/Christina K. And it's like a mini website that has everything. So that's why I send most people there, because it kind of gives you the links to the rest of my websites and stuff like that. So.
And I do want to ask one question about sacred spaces. Tell us more. What is the book about, and how can we create a sacred space?
Yeah, sure. I'm like solid in the camera right here. So Sacred Spaces it's a book collective. So there's 21 authors in this book, and the subtitle is Subtle Shifts for Mind, Body, and Home Transformation. And you're seeing life through 21 different lenses. It's really cool. We each pick a defining moment in our life and then share how that really changed us and kind of shaped us into who we are. And then at the end of the chapter, we share a tool for all the readers to use and to kind of implement in their own life. And my chapter is number 8, and it's titled Shadow Work, Finding Light in the Darkness of Trauma. Kind of tying all that together. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm very deep all the time.
I love it.
This is small talk for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Virgo and I love Scorpio talk. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. So it's Sacred Spaces kind of ties honestly everything we've talked about together. It's a really raw look at to who I am and what I've gone through and how I got to be where I am. So that's a more in-depth version of everything we've talked about. But then you also get to read 20 other authors' stories as well. It's super cool. We're all either teachers, doctors, healers, everybody with a different modality to share. And so it was a really cool project to be part of. And you can also find that on my website as well.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. And are you on Facebook as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So we could just Google your name or Google Harmony 905 to find you there.
Both. Cool. Yeah, if you type in Harmony 905, you'll most likely see my face and my name. If you type in my name, I'm connected. I'm not, Awesome. Everything's connected.
All right. So all of that info will be linked in the show notes. So you're one click away from connecting with Christina. Christina, would you like to play a game now?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. It's a really simple game. It's called Rapid Fire. And I will ask you questions and you'll answer as quickly as you can in one word or one, answer.
Okay.
You ready?
I'll do my best. Let's do it.
All right. What is your favorite yoga pose?
Pigeon. Resting pigeon.
Yeah, people don't answer that one enough with pigeon. I'd have to.
I love pigeon. Oh, it's a good one.
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book. I have so many. I literally have a big bookshelf back here. The Four Agreements.
Nice.
That one changed my life.
Yeah, that is a good one. Favorite restaurant, and that could be anywhere.
I'm not good at this.
It's you don't have to go fast. There's no prize.
Any Mexican restaurant. That's probably my best answer. I don't have a specific one, I don't think.
Okay. Favorite yoga prop? Bolster. Favorite yoga teacher?
Oh, I have so many. I don't know that one.
You're not playing favorites. You equally love all your yoga teachers.
I do. I've learned something from all of them.
Yeah. Favorite destination?
Favorite destination. I've been to a lot of places. Okay, I got one. Okay. I studied abroad in Hungary, and that's my favorite place to talk about and just think about.
Cool. Oh my God, that's so cool. I've never been there.
Yeah, I traveled all of Eastern Europe and stuff. But Hungary has a very special place in my heart.
Oh, cool. Why is that? I'm curious.
Why did I study abroad there?
Or why is it so special?
For the 8 months I was there, it was just special time in my life. I was 20 years old, and it was just me. It was just me by myself. I didn't know anybody. So I chose the one country that I knew nobody had been to, and I was like, I'm gonna go there all by myself. And it just was the best 8 months of my life.
At 20, wow.
Yeah, I just turned 20, and I was like, I want to go and explore life in a way that no one I know has done. And so I chose the most random country that like I said, no one I knew had been to. And so that nobody could give me any kind of advice. I was like, I'm gonna figure it out on my own. And I would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
Wow, that is adventurous spirit. I was not like that at 20. Wow, forever. Favorite baby animal?
Oh, I'm like picturing a whole bunch in my head right now. Can I just say a puppy?
Yeah, well, that's a great answer.
Who doesn't love puppies?
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It was so good to have you. And I hope you can come back again soon, Christina.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Awesome. I hope you enjoyed today's episode all about yoga and CBD with the wonderful Christina Kauffmann. Be sure to connect with Christina. All of her info's in the show notes, so you're just one click away from connecting with her. And I highly recommend that you do, and Harmony 905. Let us know how you like the episode. We love hearing from you. Please email us at yogaandpodcast@gmail.com. The "and" is spelled out. YOGAAND podcast@gmail. Please follow us on Instagram at Yoga and Podcast. If you like Yoga and Podcast, we would really appreciate it if you could rate and review the show. It's what helps us reach new listeners. And while you're at it, please rate and review other podcasts you like too. This small act is priceless to podcasters, and it can really show your support. Also, I have some podcast stickers and love notes lying around. If you want to email us and let us know that you reviewed the show, I'll send you some snail mail as a thank you. See you next time.